What's up, gang? Welcome to the DLP Agenda. We are live on YouTube as we are every Tuesday night at 7:15. Voice is sounding a little better, I think.
You sound good.
We're
This is the
getting
best
there.
you sound.
I don't
Yeah.
know about good.
You
All
sound
right.
you sound better. Well, you got your energy back. I could tell you were
I got
frustrated
some energy.
because
Yeah.
you talk for a living. It's your tool of the trade.
Yeah, how's that affected your shows?
We're going to get to that, actually.
Okay.
It's part of the stories that we have tonight. I had shows in the Bright Box and in Winchester and in Frederick at the Celador. Met some fans. We'll talk about that. We just recorded the bonus show.
Dude.
Another good one. Just get some updates on the Portland girls.
Some of us
Somebody-
should go to prison.
graphic text. Yeah, there's
Like
there's some
actual
crimes.
prison.
The move from hell.
The move from hell. So we're gonna pull back the curtain a little bit. We record the Patreon. I teased something we're doing for DLP Palooza,
Yes.
July 11th.
Patreon Palooza.
Every single one of your favorite DLP Patreon shows all on one day. We'll get into that before the end. Joe and I, Stan Boney, have recorded the Dumbcast. It's up.
Yes.
The minute we got
it's
done,
It's not up yet. But it'll be. I mean, it'll be up on 7-Eleven.
we're holding it.
right.
It's ours.
Mhm.
And what we were discussing is, can we ever release this?
Yeah.
Because it's just riddled with crime.
Statute of limitations. We have to look up certain things.
Yes. And I'll even give you the title if we do release it. The Come and Comeuppance. Okay. Yeah.
All right.
That has to do with relationships
So
towards the end.
that's a great title.
But he has a story that he can't even tell on Patreon, to where midway through, I do what I do on JSS. I put the show on hold for 10 seconds, a little song plays, and on the other side, you get my live reaction to a story that was even too much for Patreon. I just told you both upstairs.
It's dicey because, like, we don't want him to.
I
to
wouldn't
die in
reveal
prison.
that publicly.
No, no.
But I'm going to push for you to do it.
Yeah. I want you. You'll get an idea if you take part in Patreon Palooza. So, yeah, new Patreon will be up soon, and it's great. Patreon Palooza, 7-Eleven.
Yeah, if you're listening on Wednesday, that it's up right now. It'll be up on Wednesday. We're recording at Last Count Anywhere. Tomorrow it'll be up Thursday. There's a huge premium live event, Money in the Bank, this Saturday.
Hell yeah.
We'll give our predictions on that. There's a new story time they're going to put out probably Sunday because, a day of worship. You should
That's
listen
right.
to Tommy Simbazo.
The day you rest, you check
yes.
this out.
And then, of course, next week for Patreon Palooza 7-Eleven, we're going to have all kinds of shows on the Patreon feed, but on our YouTube. Please subscribe. We're close to 500 subscriptions.
Yeah.
Which gets us able to do more things
Yeah.
with the channel.
Subscribe.
All of you help me become a Twitch affiliate. Thank you so much. Wednesday nights, 7:00, play games, eat food, have a laugh, get behind the scenes, DLP, JSS. You got me there to the numbers that I needed. Do the same for the DLP YouTube channel. We're floating around the 430s, 440s. We want to get that to 500, then 1,000, then 5. And once the ball gets rolling, we're good to go. You help us just by clicking like, clicking subscribe, commenting on stuff, forwarding videos, sharing it. It absolutely means the world. Brittany, what's up? Ariel, Mac.
Happy birthday, Ariel.
Happy birthday,
Yesterday was her
Ariel.
birthday.
Hell yeah.
Congratulations, James Hackman, one of the OG.
Look at you.
This
Promotion.
guy's-
Got a new job. looks
Hell
like.
yeah, man. Pam, so good to talk to
Yeah.
you as well. Brittany, I'm sorry I keep tricking you
Van Arsdale.
with that one video that I constantly link to on my
Did we
YouTube
say
page.
hi to
Yes.
Rodney?
What's going on,
What's up,
Rodney?
gang?
Yeah.
And remember, on 7-Eleven, clear that evening because on our YouTube at 6 p.m.,
Ooh, Dave Dennis.
we're doing a live, which we're also going to put this out
Yeah.
on the actual podcast feed, but a special recast. Here's why you're wrong.
Here's why you're wrong.
Here's
Yes.
why you're
Yes.
wrong.
Me and Joe, classic Rob and Joe, old school,
Mhm.
teaming up against the evil Justin and Katie. We're going to recast Pulp Fiction. We'll tell you all the details. We're going to recast it then and now. Then we're going to recast the worst version you could possibly do.
I'm a little, I know they're doing, they're
talking-
they're
we
talking
were-
trash
they are.
about the casting, but I am a little worried about the worst
I'm so fucking
because
confident.
we're on our way.
Yeah.
We're on our way to
Justin's
the,
so happy.
we're on our way to the
So
Oreo
happy.
game.
Yeah.
And Katie is crying, laughing, reading
That's
these
not a
names.
good sign.
Yeah.
Because I didn't cry laughing
didn't-
in
yeah.
either of our
No,
situations.
neither did I.
I'm
So,
I
sending her
didn't
some
cry,
stuff.
laugh.
So
Yeah.
I made her laugh with my worst picks. She has for a best pick modern actors. You guys could say there's
She's
10.
good at this.
Let's say there's 10 to recast. You can nail 9 of them. She has a headshot in this thing that you're going to want to take your headphones off and walk away. We've all had this happen before as comedians. You're on stage, you get off stage, somebody else goes up and they tell a joke so good that was so obvious. It was brilliant at that. Look this guy up if you don't know the name. We brought him up before. Andy Klein.
Yeah.
Oh,
Andy
yes.
Klein was a local writer.
A lot of kill shots.
Kill shot
Mhm.
after kill shot, but not just kill shots. It wasn't like some deep Dennis Miller historical reference you'd have to look up. It was stuff that was an inch from your face that you go, God
Yes.
damn it. She has a pick in this that my hammer fisted the center console of my car when I read it because I didn't think of it.
Mm.
And I should have
All right.
thought of it.
Well, I was really confident last week, Joe, and now we got to step
It's
up.
so goddamn good.
Yes.
And she just came up with another pick
Damn it,
upstairs
Katie.
from
Well,
Butch.
Damn it.
A modern
sent,
pick that is mwah.
I sent Rob what I thought was our finals.
Yeah.
What I'm
Our
really
final
comf-
draft.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I left some holes because I wasn't.
Mm.
I thought some of them weren't good enough. Rob reminded me of one that we have.
That we
so
talked about last
we talked
week.
about. So I think we have maybe.
I think we're good.
Can we talk about the conditions they're into? Because we had a quiet conversation about this
Sure.
off air. That the person that's in it, and are we going to count this also for the worst picks? Do they need to be a person that is an actor?
well,
I think they have to be a celebrity. They can't be like Chris Restivo. They have
Okay,
to be a,
it's-
yeah.
a
someone that-
famous person.
yeah.
I think they can be a reality star.
Can they have been just a strictly commercial?
yeah, it's
I
funny
think
you say
so.
that
Yes,
because
I think
it's funny
so.
because that was can it be Scott Donahue? Can it be Crystal Coons?
That's another great
I
question.
she be
think
in
it
it?
has to be nationally
Because if you
famous.
say no to that, you put an arrow through the head of one.
Well,
of our
Okay.
well,
people.
let's wait till we go on the
Okay.
air,
All right,
right?
we'll figure
We'll
it
get
out.
into
because,
it. We do
no,
have backups, by the way,
All right.
just in case
Yeah.
you go no, strike that from the record.
So yeah, I get it, and I also I
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the fun of it, and if we kind of because we do it is the fight. So
Yeah.
you got to defend your guy, but if we make these rules now,
But I also want
removes them.
everyone to listen in the world so
Yeah.
we can get the more
Yes.
people know. Also that night, again, 7-Eleven, after the recast of Pulp Fiction, Tommy Sambazo joins us
Yeah,
for a live story time.
God, dude.
And this is his stories are what they are, which are amazing.
it's the only
But
thing.
this is the one that takes us the furthest, the farthest.
This is
whatever
the
right
one that
word
makes
is.
me feel okay about
Yes.
putting out the criminality
Yes.
of the Dumbcast because
He-
this is worse.
he told this story, and he was maybe he was affected a little bit in some way when we were in Ocean City.
yeah.
It took him 2 hours to tell it.
It-
Now
it-
I don't know
it
if that's
won't-
going
it-
to
no,
happen, but
it won't take that long.
And every minute
Trust
worth
me.
it.
Yeah.
There was no moment that I was about to fade up the never-ending story. Every minute of this story
Yeah.
was worth
Yeah.
telling, and I forgot about it luckily because of the state that we were in.
Yeah.
But I can't wait to hear it
Yeah.
because it takes so much work to do what he did, and it just reminds me: stand beside him, stand behind him, never stand in front of him. In life.
No,
No.
never do that. Never do that.
No.
Brittany's very excited. She goes live story time. Steph excited.
Let me say-
Ariel, the Dumbcast, looking forward to that. Van Arsdale. It's a good chit
It's good.
chat.
Let me say
tonight.
one thing about
Yes.
here's why you're wrong. Katie almost pitched a perfect game with the Back to the Future.
Yeah, Back to
then.
the Future's up
She
now.
almost pitched a
She
perfect
did.
game. I got lucky because
Mhm.
my biff was better than hers.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Who was
really,
her biff? Your biff?
so
Remind me?
her biff was Judd Nelson. Mine
Okay.
was Clancy Brown.
Who's most famously the evil security guard in Shawshank.
Shawshank, but he also is Mr. Krabs. And you
Yes.
saw the movie Bad
Yeah.
Boys with Sean
And
Penn.
Pulp Fiction is a perfect pick for a Patreon Palooza. I
It's
mean,
a
it's
classic,
everyone's seen it.
iconic character.
the only
all
reason
big names.
It didn't win Film of the Year because it came at the same goddamn year Forrest Gump did.
yeah,
and
which
it
is
was
also the reason
Also,
Shawshank didn't win.
I also
Exactly.
think people couldn't kind of wrap their head
It
around
was
it.
too much.
Yeah,
It
it
was
was a
amazing.
different thing, and they,
Unique.
Yeah.
some people it passed them by. They
Yeah.
didn't get it. By the way, real quick, do I look different to you guys at all?
You got a little color in that.
Yeah,
beard.
okay,
look
you
good.
noticed.
It
All right.
looks
look good.
casual.
I like it.
Does it
It
look-
doesn't look bad.
It looks natural,
didn't go
right?
heavy.
You look good.
It looks
you've,
natural.
You've seen the photo that I've shared of me that my beard looks like an oil slick when I put too much in. Have you ever seen that photo of when I dyed my
I don't
beard
think
too
so.
much?
Ariel or Brittany said that we matched
In the
tonight, which I guess
finest.
we kind of
Let
did.
me
Are we
say
doing?
that,
What are
yeah.
we doing? I'm wearing a
I
3/4
don't know.
length
We're sort
something.
We're sort of working out.
Yeah. So you got the long sleeve. I got the 3/4 length. You've
Mhm,
got yourself.
mhm.
Also,
Yeah,
there's an update about some romance. Is all I'll
yeah,
say.
it's enough teasing of what's coming. Speaking of my voice, I did shows this past weekend in Frederick.
That's a bad. dye
We'll
job
talk
right
about
there.
the Bright Bucks here in a second.
That's a
Oh,
horrible
that's
dye job.
ridiculously
That's
bad.
10W30
So-
used motor oil.
I'm in Frederick
Oh.
before the show,
Jesus.
and my voice, it's having done 2 shows the night before, and then
Yeah.
it's struggling. And I see Sean Savoy, local comic. If you don't know him, Sean is a guy. I call him a very hippie stoner kind of a vibe.
Mhm.
He's a black guy with his hair's dyed yellow. That's sort of his vibe. He always has a girlfriend who's from like Europe, some country in Europe.
Yeah, and she's always a 10.
She's always super hot. She always
Yeah.
looks like she like has lived in a van though at some point, and she makes her own
Right.
like
She definitely knows how to
jewelry,
play the
Right.
ukulele.
handbags.
Yeah.
Yeah, people
Yeah.
recognize her at Burning Man.
And they're
Right.
always cool when they break up. They
Yes,
remain
yes.
friends.
Super
She had one girl that on stage during the show she would just paint on the stage, and nobody said anything. They just allowed this to happen. But whatever.
That was a weird
So,
goddamn show.
Was
I-
it funny? No, I'm
I,
joking.
I say to Sean, I go, "Hey, how you doing?" He's like, "I'm like, yeah, my voice is struggling." He goes, "Hey, this is what you need to do." And now I'm expecting some hippie, some like
Eastern
oils or
medicine, a
something.
little
Take
persimmon
this
oil.
plant and muddle it.
Dayquil.
Suck
Right.
on a radish.
No, it's almost Joe.
He unzips.
He goes, "This is what you should do. Orange juice.
Really? I mean, does it work?
Chug orange juice. Vitamin C." I'm like, "Thank you.
Thank you
I've
very
been
much.
drinking gin."
Can I
Yeah,
tell
yeah.
a similar
I've blown
story?
scorched
Yes.
earth on my
But
throat.
he said it as if like, "Hey, you heard it. You heard it first.
Go
So
get
for
a
me."
pen.
Can I tell? I'm
OJ.
sure I've told this story, but it's probably 7 or 8 years old at this
Okay.
point. Remember, I had a. Here's how old the woman who cut my hair was. Sumi was her name. That
Sue me.
Sumi,
Okay.
Sumi.
Okay.
All right.
She
Randolph
met
Rice.
her husband during the Korean War.
Damn.
Okay,
Okay.
that's how
Yeah.
old she is. Okay, she is an old lady. She walked to work from the apartments in Crofton, and she's like, I'm gonna stop cutting hair. I can't. They were moving
Okay.
the what do you call it, the barber shop or whatever. They were moving from here to that box spring over there. That's where they were moving.
Okay.
Oh,
She
wow.
goes, it's too far. I
And she
can't.
can't do it
Okay,
anymore.
can't do it.
Did
So,
she have still hands, or were you just covered in nicks and slices?
yeah, no, well, it's not much challenge to cut my hair, but
Yeah.
no, I mean, I don't even know if she was good at it. I'm one of those guys that no matter what they do, I'm fine with it.
Yeah,
But anyway,
we can tell.
I'm telling Scott Apple, I go, hey, yeah, I got to
Your-
find
your
somebody.
former
I
coworker.
got to get a new. I got to get somebody new to cut my hair. He goes, hey, hair cuttery.
All right. Well, if we're sharing stories of that ilk, have you ever heard the pizza place suggestion
Oh,
from
no.
98 Rock and Secrets years ago, back when our old boss Dave Hill still worked there? Same thing. We leave Secrets. We're on our way out. We shut the place down. It's myself, Scott Reardon, Dave Hill, Steve Huber, John Lauer, a couple of others, and we're pretty deep in the bottles. And Steve goes, I want to get pizza. And we find one of the ladies, she's cleaning the bar, and we said, hey, we want to grab a slice of pizza. Where's like good around here? And she goes, you want something real good? You want a local slice? We're like, absolutely. She goes, here's what you want to do. You want to head out. You want to make a right down Coastal Highway, 3 blocks on your right before you get to the Dunkin' Donuts. Some of the best pizza in Ocean City. It's called Papa John's. And she was dead fucking
I
serious.
thought you were going to say 7-Eleven.
Is John from here? Yeah,
Well, it's funny you say that. We determined after really drinking in the way she sold it, I think she didn't know it was a chain. I think
she no way
she's
knows it.
no way.
Yeah.
She thinks that John
Yeah.
somehow stays on 62nd Street.
Yeah,
He's got a wife,
Now
there's a
there's-
Mama John,
that
daughter
Shaq
John.
owns 50 of them.
Yeah, there's no idea.
Yeah.
There's 50 of them in the state of Maryland.
Mm.
Yeah. So hey, speaking of comedy, Cellar Door
Yeah.
in Fredericksburg.
Well, we'll start in Frederick. We'll start with the Bright Box.
Frederick,
Saturday
yes.
night. Shout out to Steph was there. Great to see you.
Love you, Steph.
Saw a guy in the front row, Jared. I posted that photo. He was wearing a DLP Agenda t-shirt.
Hell yeah.
Big fan
I
of
think
that.
Jared is in chat. I
Jared,
thought
you
I
in
saw
chat
Jared.
right now?
Love,
I
love
thought
you,
I
Jared.
saw
Hey,
maybe
what
I'm
about the
wrong.
other shirt that I saw in the wild?
Yes.
Holy shit.
Once you go white, you'll still be tight at the 98
98 Rock Night.
Not to hijack your story, let me say that
Yeah.
that guy was trying to get Katie's attention.
Jared.
Really?
Oh,
Every
yeah.
time she looked,
Mhm.
he was looking at her. And by the way, I didn't notice it. I
Are
don't
you
know-
tight?
Hey, do you want to remain tight?
Show me how tight you still are.
So, I guess Katie
She's
was
with
like,
Joe. She's so
she's like,
tight.
this is,
Very
yeah,
good.
please.
She's a virgin again. Yeah. Her
She
pussy
like-
fell off.
She's like, this is, is this guy trying to get my attention? What's happening? So it was a little uncomfortable, but
Yeah.
he didn't walk over. But clearly, I wish he had, because as soon as we found out that was the guy wearing the one, we wanted to find him.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
wanted.
Hey,
You're
if
the
you're
only one
out
that
there,
found
tell
you.
us your name. Okay.
If you're out there, if you happen to know
that
about
is
this.
that is Jared in
Nope.
the chat.
The once you will go white guy.
No, but Jared is the guy with the DLP Agenda t-shirt.
Mhm.
Steph, thank you. Great show. Everybody laughed. Appreciate that. No, it was first show was packed,
Okay.
and it was just a good show. I actually, we Nick, the guy the manager there that we all
Yeah.
talk about is such a dreamboat.
We all crave.
Yes. So I thought this was a clever line because I wanted to talk about Hawk Tua somehow.
Oh yeah.
And I said, Nick's been Hawk to it a lot, like how hot he is. I said he's been Hawk 20 to it.
yeah,
Not bad.
yeah.
So
not
all,
bad
our,
at
all our Nick fans.
Good line.
But I want to fast forward to the second show. This was the dynamic. There was I've never seen this group of people at a table. Mother, father, 18-year-old daughter, 18-year-old daughter's boyfriend, who's also, I'm assuming they're in college together, the same age.
Okay.
So that's a weird to be at a comedy show.
Yeah.
Because, the jokes that I tell and that we tell.
Right.
And then, so,
racing.
and I actually had this conversation with them, like, who's most uncomfortable here? Because, like,
Whose
I
idea
think
was
it's-
this?
I think it's the boyfriend.
It's got to be the boyfriend.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Boyfriend
he's-
1, dad 2,
right.
right?
Because
Daughter
we
3,
made
mother 4.
jokes about sex and watching.
Right.
We didn't hold back.
Oh yeah.
Because they
yeah,
were
yeah.
cool. Then you had the couple up front who right away I got the vibe that this guy, he kind of ran over the host because the host asked him, are they married or something? And he's like, no, it's my mistress. And then it was like, is this a joke or not?
Right.
And he wouldn't get off of it. And he was aggressive. Like that guy could be a problem. Then there was a couple in the back, regular good couple. Then there was a girl, hot girl, boyfriend. It's her birthday. So that was it, right?
Okay.
And it was almost all crowd work. When I tried to tell a joke, the mistress chick would interrupt with a question.
The mistress girl, the girl
Yes,
that was with
yeah.
the guy who said
Right.
it,
And I'm doing the joke that I've told for a million times. It's about first impressions, guys. If you botch it,
Mhm.
girls, you're on a first date. If the guy shits his pants, there's no second date.
Yeah.
And then yada, yada, yada. The flip side, if the guy and the girl shits her pants, the guy's fine with it. Anyway, in the middle of the joke, she goes, well, why did he shit his pants?
I don't know.
And I'm like, does it
matter?
why does that matter? She goes, well, it matters. I go, okay.
No, it doesn't.
He sharted. And she goes, well, that happens all the time. I go, that happens? But this woman's like 40. She's pretty good looking. I'm like,
right?
this happens to you all the time?
I bet she's under the impression she's hotter than she is.
Yes. And she goes,
Yeah.
well, I don't know, like 5 times a month. Well, we got to go to the doctor.
Whoa. 5 times a
month.
Yes.
Her
She's-
guy sharts himself.
No, her.
She
does.
shits her ass 5
Yes.
times a month.
Right.
Oh man.
And I'm like,
that's
you
even
shit-
too much for me.
Right. Even Joe's like, I'm like, you shit your pants
Goatsy only does that
5
3
times a month and you have a husband and a boyfriend?
What the
Oh,
hell?
you almost proving the joke, right? So, but then the fucking birthday couple, this chick, I do the thing where I buy them drinks,
Yeah.
but I know the club's not charging me anything.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
really just
I got the
giving
next
them-
round
Right.
on me.
But the girl comes by afterwards with the boyfriend. She's like 23. They're just the sweetest, hottest Hispanic chick, but
Yeah.
just very positive and uplifting. And she's like, this is the best birthday ever. She takes a picture. She's all hugging me and shit. I'm like, well, thank you. I didn't know I made your fucking night, but it was good. It was good to actually, feel like this, because this to me seems like a shitty birthday. If you're asking me, it's me and John Yeager and the guy's on comedy 8 times
Yeah.
in front of 8 people. I don't know, but whatever. She's had his birthday of her life. I'm like, okay. So then fucking Sunday night, and now my voice is really it's fucking with me, and I'm not comfortable.
Because you're trapped. Not only
it's-
are you
right.
performing,
Yeah.
but then you're probably not getting good rest because you're driving back,
Oh yeah, no, I
and
got
then you're
back-
driving. 'Cause-
exactly.
Yeah. Then you're driving to Frederick. I assume you went home.
Yeah, I did go home,
Oh God.
and it poured rain on drive.
Oh,
30
nice,
minutes of nonstop
nice.
raining. But shout out to Doug.
Sup,
He was
Doug?
at your show as well.
Okay.
Doug and his 2 friends. The one guy knows you. He says that you've
Oh,
introduced him,
Jim
brought him to the show.
Lapping? Did
Maybe
he?
he's good looking guy, kind of tall, strapping. Guy.
Maybe that was Jim Lapping.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a guy that I used to skateboard.
They
with
were
that
sitting in
moves there.
They were sitting more in the back for you. They were right up front for me.
Huh. Okay.
But I talked to Doug afterwards in that group.
I did.
They said you did great.
Thank God.
They were at the June 2nd murder mystery at Rams, or Doug was, and his wife said they loved it. And then the one guy asked me, "Is it true about the ex-girlfriend?" And then Doug goes, "You mean Tawanda?"
Oh.
And Doug's like, and made a good point. He's like, "Well, you guys, you don't know anything about me, but I know a lot about you." And I'm like, "Well, you're right. We
I
are.
hate
We
that.
do share a lot." But
Mhm.
Doug said, and this is all to all you fans of the show that aren't patrons. Doug said, "Hey," because when I was doing my little spiel at the end, he yells out Patreon Palooza,
Hey,
and he goes, "You know what? I haven't subscribed yet, but I'm going to."
that's what I'm talking about.
Palooza, because you guys are doing great things. Love the show. Heard you on TMOS originally back in the day. Shout out to Trip Affleck, by the way. You sign up $20 a month, Trip.
Nice.
Love you.
Thank you,
Trip.
Trip.
Hell
It's
yeah,
just-
dude.
So be like Doug, be like Trip. If you listen to the show, get on and join for $5. I'm not, look, I get it's not about the money. I understand psychologically you're constantly getting these like monthly bills for bullshit.
Yeah.
You sign something up. Next thing you know, you're on a subscription. So I get that you're trying to eliminate that shit. I get nobody's not buying it because they can't afford $5 a month. If someone was stealing $5 a month out of your bank, you would never fucking know. So I get that. But I will just say this. It will be fucking worth it. I promise you.
You can
It's gonna
also
be
just stop
amazing.
doing it if
Yeah,
it's not.
Yeah, there's no contract.
It might cost
Yes.
you $5 to figure out if it's
Yes.
worth it.
Yeah, you'll
Right.
know pretty quick if this is for you, if it's for not. Speaking of financial improprieties, did I tell you I got a warning text from Bank of America saying, "Hey, we think we found some suspicious activity on your card. Did you authorize a $26.50 charge at GameStop in Grapevine, Texas?" Talked about it this morning on the radio show. I'm like, I've not been to Grapevine, Texas recently at all. No, I did not. Instead of like giving me more updates as to what to do, boom, canceled, card shut down, everything. Oh, fuck.
man.
Meanwhile,
Oh,
Netflix not working, Hulu not working,
jeez.
Amazon's
Yeah.
done, YouTube Prime. Oh, it's all completely done. You know what? I absolutely did authorize it and completely forgot that I did like a
Is
week
that an
ago.
OnlyFans thing?
It's an online thing, and for
Right.
whatever reason, it registered
Yeah.
not in Annapolis, Maryland, where I signed up for some rewards program. It got pegged in Grapevine, Texas. Now I have to sign up for every other goddamn service in
It
my life.
sucks.
It sucks.
It's the worst. Yeah.
It's
I'd rather just
Change
have
your
some
credit
fraud.
card.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Part of me was like, you know what? It's on me. The game's on me, whatever you're buying out there. But yeah, to Rob's point, the Patreon numbers are good. They really are good. We want to make them great. And what we're planning for 7-Eleven, we're extremely proud of it. And if you already are, thank you. If you're not, I do want to do the thing. I'm going to steal this completely from Crime and Sports, Jimmy Wisman, James Patrigallo, and I'll do this myself.
Mhm.
I do want to read everyone's name from the $10 to the $20
Yes.
level. At the $5 level, know that we love you all very much. And maybe I'll read some random names, but I do want to grab those names and I do want to read them and I do want to thank them and spend a minute or two on some of the $20, $50 levels. So I will take that upon myself. You always send out Excel spreadsheets of
Sure.
everybody. Get me a fresh one. I'll record it.
Absolutely.
I'll put it in there. Hey, you touched on something just for a second
Right.
that I want to drill back down on.
Please.
You said the first impression joke. And I
Yes.
know that joke. It's a great joke. It's a Rob Mayer classic.
Thank you.
Now, how old do you think that joke is?
I mean, it's probably, I stopped telling it for a while and then
Yeah.
I realized, I mean, why not just tell it again?
Why
right?
not dust off?
It's at least 10 years.
You go to see the Stones, you want to hear Painted Black.
Yeah.
You want to hear Satisfaction.
I'm not
okay?
proud of my lack of writing new jokes, but I will say it's never not done well.
I had a set at Magoobies. Great local comic, Umar Khan. He'll go national soon. He goes, hey, do you want to feature for me? I said, I would love to. Because, oh, thank you, man. So I had a set written out, and I was going to do 20, 25 minutes. For whatever reason, I botched the order of two things. I tell something out of order, which messes with the flow of where I need to
Gotcha.
go next. And I can't go
We've
back
all
to it.
done that.
Yeah, it happens. So I immediately jump back into some old shit. I mean, old shit. You actually even heard some old stuff at Merriweather. Some stuff that I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I know this works.
Mhm.
And I'm pretty confident 99% of the people out there in this audience have not heard it. I was an unknown to that crew.
And some of these jokes are timeless in the fact they're not about anything happening.
There's nothing topical.
Topical.
Is it
I'm
about
not
a
gonna-
rotary phone?
Yeah, it's like,
Yes.
hey, what's going on with Bush Jr.?
Yeah.
That at what point do you go, I gotta old yeller this thing. I gotta take it behind the barn. Because I have a joke about ramen and
Yeah.
the seasonings and all that. That might have been, I mean, as of June of this year, 20 years in comedy, June 4th. That might have been a year 2 joke. That might be 18 years.
Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, I have jokes where I just sort of just forget. They just kind of slip out of the set.
Yeah.
And then like 2 years later, I'll be like, wait a minute. Why did I stop telling that?
Mhm.
And I'll tell it again. But you can tell when the joke, it's not doing as well. And it's not because the joke isn't funny anymore. It's because you're not as into it. You kind of slow. It's like aging.
No, you're right.
You don't.
It's like a
nobody
new
looks
toy. You're
older a day later, but you don't see them for a year. Then you can see.
Exactly.
I remember the Fat Doctor
Yeah.
talking to the great Fat Doctor.
Legendary
The-
local
my,
DC.
my
bear-
first time ever on stage, the Fat Doctor was the head.
my
one of the
first
first
time
headliner-
ever. My first time ever on stage as well. The Fat Doctor.
The first
That's
headliner
amazing.
I ever saw was Bobby Slayton. The second was the Fat Doctor.
Yeah, and the Fat Doctor was a good comic.
Great
He was
Yes.
funny. He might have had some shit going on outside of comedy that wasn't so
Right.
But
great.
you talk to some legends from around this
Yeah.
area,
Mhm.
including Dave Chappelle, Lewis Black,
Martin
and
Lawrence.
Martin Lawrence, and they
He
will
wrote
tell
for
you
Tony Woods.
Tony Woods
Yeah.
at the Fat Doctor was a big
Yeah.
influence. Yeah.
And I remember saying, "When do you stop telling a joke?" And he goes, "When it stops working."
Okay.
There you
Which
go.
and I understand what Rob's saying about it slipping out of your set, but as long as it's work, because I'm sure we've all had that where, and who knows why, but all of a sudden the joke just stops working.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then obviously you have to take it out then. But if you can go back and go, wait a second. Now, obviously, I remember worked with Chip Franklin one time, and he hadn't been on stage in about 5 years when I worked with him. He'd been doing radio, but he was doing some special show for WBAL.
Yeah.
And his joke was about at the end where somebody stole his tape deck.
Jesus. Okay. So that obviously.
Yeah.
Do you know I got one of the weirdest paychecks I'd ever received in comedy doing a show with Chip Franklin, former WBAL host. He's in San Diego now, I
I
believe.
think it's San Francisco or San
San
Diego.
Francisco.
San Diego.
Yeah, one of the two. And I do a show with him. I feature for him at the Rusty Scupper.
Okay.
And he goes, I can give you $100 for the show. I'm like, that's amazing. That's
Yeah.
a gold mine to me. And at the end, he gives me a Comcast rebate check made out to him. And I go, I like, I don't know. He goes, it'll work. Trust me. Endorse it. Put it in the bank. It'll work. And you know what happened? It fucking worked. I began to question all banking
Yeah.
at that point. It was made out for a rebate deal to another man that I signed the back of. It did not have my address on it and anything. It was made out to
You don't
him.
even have Comcast.
My bank's like, I don't
Yeah.
give a shit. Sure,
Yeah.
here you go. And it
N-
cashed.
I know we're talking about when jokes stop when you stop telling a joke, but I have another Chip Franklin
Okay, but
story.
hold on.
Okay.
Before we get to that, what never stops working is our sponsors.
Yes.
Let's hear from them.
So Chip Franklin said, "Hey, I have a gig. Would you like to do it?" I think two guys are doing the gig with me, Herbie Gill
Yeah,
Yes.
and Jared Stern.
Herbie Gill there when I met Tawanda.
That's right.
Mhm.
You have a great story about him buying shots. Maybe
I
tell
do.
that story. But
Mhm.
but it's me, Herbie Gill, Jared Stern, and Chip Franklin, and we are doing a synagogue.
Oh. Okay. So
And-
raucous crowd.
And
Yeah.
Raucous
so
crowd.
this is what you're not going to believe. I bombed.
Really? Wow.
At a synagogue.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes, it was. Yeah,
Noted Palestinian sympathizer Joe Robinson.
yeah. I just did my regular act. They weren't
Yeah.
feeling it for some reason.
Didn't
but yeah.
feel it. Damn. Yeah, that's one of those ones where I look at and
Yeah.
go, early days, I'll take anything. Right now, if you offered me
Oh no,
if you offered me that much
No.
to do 20 minutes, no.
a synagogue? Yeah, no, I'm not.
Nah,
I'm not.
I'm gonna
yeah.
bomb. I'm gonna ruin these people's night. I'm gonna have a bad night
Yeah.
myself.
I've done like a Jewish, I don't know what they call it, a center, whatever.
Yeah.
I did one with Mark Unger. It was the night, the what do they call it? The Mile High Miracle. The Ravens.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah. With,
defeated the Broncos.
Jacoby.
Yes. But Herbie Gill, the first night I met Tawanda, I was on stage. I was performing at Columbia. Forget the name of the place. And Herbie Gill was the feature. Herbie Gill is black. Tawanda's black. I am in the back. Herbie is destroying. Tawanda, who I don't know yet at the time, I only see her from behind, is laughing really loud at Herbie. And I goes, you know what? In my mind, I go, I think I'm gonna tell Herbie, this girl seems pretty attractive. She's
Yeah.
laughing at your jokes. Maybe we should talk to her. And then I go up there and I have a really good set, and I end up interacting with her, but not realizing it's the same person because of the lights and shit. And then I get off stage, and then I realize that's the same girl, and I go, oh, well, Tawanda's really gorgeous. I don't think I'm gonna pawn her off to Herbie. So me and him, and then her, she was with her girlfriend, who I could not remember was Deborah or Brenda, so I just call her Deborah Brenda, and that nickname is stuck. We go to the bar next door. There's 4 of us, and Herbie orders 4 shots.
Hell yeah.
And I'm like, okay, cool, I'll do shots. And then he gets the 4 shots, and then he proceeds to do them all himself.
Oh shit.
Boom, 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 boom.
It's the only way I can talk to women.
That's it.
I really think it is. And I've never seen that in my life.
That's
Like
wild.
order 3, so it's not the exact same number
you're
of
doing
the
it
people.
Just
on
get a glass
purpose,
of
Yes.
vodka.
It's
Yes,
hilarious.
right.
Yeah, if you're
Get a quadruple.
not doing
Yeah,
it on
right,
purpose, it's something different.
Right.
You know, I've got a Herbie Gill story. I don't think I've ever told either one of you.
All right,
about
go
that.
ahead.
Do you know
We've mentioned Sean Savoy,
Yeah.
Herbie Gill, Chip
going-
Franklin,
taking a deep
Yeah.
dive
All
into
right.
DC, Baltimore,
Yeah.
Virginia
Yeah.
comedy here.
Fat
Again,
Doctor.
local comedian. Does he still do stand up?
Yes, he does.
Around
Herbie
here?
Gill
yeah,
does?
yeah. I don't.
Oh,
I've
hell yeah.
seen. I think he tours and shit. Yeah.
Really? No
Yeah,
shit.
I haven't
Okay.
talked to him in a while.
No, it was,
Love Herbie, great guy.
Yeah.
Fine comic. Fine comic. You remember the girlfriend that I had who was bonkers that moved in with me over the summer and failed out of college.
Oh yeah, you
and
didn't, tell
didn't
me,
have
huh?
the balls
Yes.
to tell her parents, so I was stuck with her. She stopped paying rent. She started inviting people over my apartment. I had to get her
At
out
least
of
you
there.
were rich.
At least I was rich and well, and at least I still have a scar on my
Yes.
wrist from where she came at me with a knife. So I put my hands up, poked me. I called her dad. He was like, "That makes sense," and gets her out of there.
Tracks.
She left her diary at the house. Her
Oh.
dad, after she came at me, being like, "You need to fucking leave." She
Yeah.
left all of her shit. Her mom and dad had to come back and get her.
Uh-huh.
So I'm gathering her stuff, and on her side of the bed, in a nightstand, is a small diary. Do you know who she wanted to savagely fuck? Herbie Gill. It was in her because I would bring her to open mics. I would
I
bring
hate
her.
Justin, but
to-
I don't hate her.
I would bring her to
Yeah,
Topaz.
you do 10 shots for her.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah. You do 10 minutes in this
Hey,
mouth.
I was a topaz. Didn't know anything about me.
No, you guys never came up. Sorry, man. You never came up. But I seem to recall her saying something. She wanted to taste his funny.
Oh,
Okie dokie.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
Now,
like, nice.
If,
Nice.
if a girl is like obviously trying to come on to you, is even if it's cheesy like that, like you're okay with it, right? You're not turned off by it.
Now, you never met her.
no.
She was
No.
borderline nonverbal.
Okay,
No,
so
she
you're thinking
was
there's an issue.
Autism.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
a
No,
lot
I
of
was,
tism.
yeah. No, I was.
Not
I
a
was.
lot of
I was housing a special.
Jizzing in that tism.
There was no jizzing in the tism. I was definitely housing a special needs.
So-
new t-shirt for us.
Yeah. Great. body,
I remember one more thing about Herbie. Gill.
Oh,
He used
Herbie's.
he used to carry a
though. You're
book-
getting some run.
He
Yeah.
used to carry a joke book around
Yeah.
with him, and he used to write quotes from what famous people said to him.
Okay.
I like that.
That's
And
kinda
I
cool
remember
idea.
him going, "Hey, there's a Joe Robinson quote in here." Now I don't remember what it
Oh,
is.
Yeah.
Couldn't have been nice.
I don't remember what it is.
Nah, I don't think this is for you. Nah, I don't think it's for
Yes,
you.
I'm sure it was.
God,
What
I'm
do
glad
you-
to hear he's still doing it.
Is there a Coles nearby?
I'm happy to hear he's still doing it. He was always.
Shout out Herbie.
Yeah, Herbie.
Yeah.
Wherever you are, but I hope you're well. That's funny. God, Sean Savoy,
Probably dating
Fat
your
Doctor.
ex.
Yeah, he's probably plowing Emily somewhere in Philadelphia. No, she actually got wrapped up in the Bikram yoga cult. And if you watch the Netflix documentary about that
Oh,
guy,
she's part
she's
of
in
it.
it for 3 seconds. You see her in the background. I'll tell you exactly where to watch on screen when you see this skeletal little nymph in the background mumble shit her way through some hot yoga.
Here's
It's
something crazy.
awful.
God, we're really tangenting here, but this
It's
is
okay. It's a
I don't know if
tangent
I've ever
show.
told this. So, my friend Jamie, God rest his soul, he died in the looking up the TWA Flight 800 crash. My friend Jamie,
Really?
Jamie Hurd. Yeah, over the Long Island Sound,
yeah.
Air France, right? He was going to visit his girlfriend Hope, who was a French teacher, and she was summering in France or whatever on some sort
Which he had none of on the way down.
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
So anyway, so
It's the last thing that left him.
he
Fuck.
didn't make it. He didn't make it over there. Anyway, I'm watching a documentary on Adnan Syed.
Yes,
Oh yeah,
yes.
from Serial.
By the
Serial
way,
One.
definitely guilty.
100% guilty.
Real
Yeah.
guilty.
100% guilty.
Not even close.
100% guilty. The teacher they interview, it's her.
Oh shit.
She's it. She's just an hour of her in this
Whoa, whoa.
in this thing.
Hope.
Yes,
Wow.
Wow.
they probably have her in that Serial
in
podcast.
the
I bet,
Serial
she,
One.
I bet she's all over it. Yes.
No
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah. Now I don't know what I don't remember what her last name was, and I certainly don't know what it is now. I'm assuming she's gotten over my friend and moved on.
I would
She
think
might have
so.
had a couple
Yeah.
husbands by now. Who knows?
Pretty-
What's
Hope less.
the etiquette there? Like if someone dies,
Hey, remember me?
Hey,
like if
I'm your dead boyfriend's
if
friend.
someone dies like in a plane crash or
something violent and sudden.
is it a different sort of like when you move on versus if they're sick and die, or
Yeah,
are
I
they
mean,
like they get? I don't know.
yeah, they romanticize those relationships a lot of times. Not necessarily the girlfriend, but I know her.
Yeah.
Jamie's parents really kind of define that a little bit differently because they wanted
Yeah.
him to have had a future that they could reach out and touch
Yeah,
almost.
I get that.
Who knows what they would have become? I have no idea.
Let's say Brittany's husband dies suddenly at a bull riding event.
Hey,
Yes.
I'm
Brittany.
there consoling her before the ambulances
I don't
arrive
know.
at the arena.
You got
okay?
competition because Brittany says, "Gotta say, Joe, the beard looks good."
Oh, thanks, Brett. Appreciate
I'll
it.
dye
Yeah.
mine.
Yeah.
Say the word. I'll dye mine too. Okay.
Not the same
I'll,
one.
I'll grow one. There you go.
There you go. Whatever
you
it takes.
But what's the etiquette? Yeah, I mean, it seems like a sudden death, you need to mourn longer.
A
right?
little bit.
Yeah,
because it's
right?
if they're
unexpected.
sick for a
Yeah.
while, that's you've sort of built
Yeah.
up.
You have a
to
little
it.
bit of an off
You
ramp on how
sort
they're
of got
doing
the
it.
tender
The last
profile
time
ready to
You
go.
make peace.
She saw him. He was at his apex.
And he was
Mhm.
flying to see her, so it's
Yeah.
like she could almost feel some guilt for that.
Of course,
too.
yeah. Oh
Yeah.
no, yeah.
Like, good you lived a car ride away.
Yeah,
So,
if she wasn't there, he would be alive. That's a
you know,
fact.
I think about this a lot because I fly so much. I think about like if the plane was going down, would I be freaking out and screaming?
Do you know
and
I had a
crying?
moment about that
Right?
that I was so proud of myself because
Mhm.
I'm a huge pussy. I've had that
Yes,
same thought.
you are.
Big sissy.
Yeah.
That I remember I was flying back from California to Baltimore when I was living out there, and they would fly me back for station shit. For whatever reason, we hit turbulence and it
Yes.
knocked the masks down.
Oh,
Only time
okay.
it's ever happened. And it was, and I was so proud of myself that I went, oh, fuck. Just loudly. That's it. I was like, oh,
You're like, as in it's over.
I was
I
like,
thought-
oh,
Yeah.
great.
I
thought
Oh,
you immediately
great.
revealed your deepest, darkest secret
Yes.
to the entire cabin.
You know how many times I've blown? Yeah, yes, just immediately like, oh my God, the Shane Gillis sketch about getting off your chest, texting, not the person you
Yes.
love, text the person you hate
Mhm,
on the way down.
I've always wanted to tell you.
But yeah, I would have thought that in a moment like that, I'm
Yeah.
screaming, I'm crying. I can tell you that will happen. I've talked about this on JSS. If I was to be stricken with cancer, may I not be,
Right?
you will see one of the more cowardly battles with cancer you've ever seen. There will be no bravery.
You're just giving in.
Screaming, sobbing. Why,
Morphine.
why is this happening to me? People will be team cancer about a month in.
You seem like though, if that was happening, you would be writing a diary or something that would be read at the funeral. that You
Oh.
wanted people to know.
It would be, hey, where's babyjustin.com? Okay. we
Oh,
still gotta
that's
do it.
true. Bring
We
that back.
still
Yeah.
got to do it. But yes, in those moments where you're like, you fly more than anybody I know.
Yeah.
If that flight starts, I mean, the most famous example of that, I know we've all have to have seen. If you haven't, please, DLP user, look it up. Ricky Gervais, Louis C.K. on the private plane. Have you seen that?
No.
It's a legendary video.
Like
I
a
beg you, the
sketch?
minute we get to no, this is real.
Okay.
When Ricky Gervais was at his peak of traveling stand-up, he had a young
You
Louis
go Gervais,
CK.
not Gervais.
Ricky Gervais, is it Vase?
Whatever. I know you're. I know
Ricky,
you're-
yeah.
yeah.
Ricky Gervais.
Mhm.
He had a young
Mhm.
Louis C.K., no beard, no nothing, dick in his pants. He actually even had some hair.
Mhm.
Was his opener, and Ricky has got a private plane, and the turbulence is insane. Louis C.K. freaks out badly, and he starts saying some shit that has Ricky in tears laughing.
It's real.
Yes. I'm shocked you haven't seen it.
Okay.
It's comedy lore of how Louis C.K. reacted to thinking his plane was going to go down. And the things, I believe this is him saying it, not me. He started screaming, gay racist babies dying of AIDS. Gay racist babies
Well, that'll
dying
calm
of
you down.
AIDS.
Yeah, that's
He
soothing.
starts
Yeah.
he starts stacking up the worst things he
It's
can
a
think
lovely
of.
chant. Yes.
Ricky can't
Hey,
handle it.
not the name of the show.
Not the name of the show. Oh my God. Please, please, please look up
Cockpit Confessions, Brittany calls it.
Hell
That's
yeah.
strong. Maybe that's the name of the show.
Broadcasting live
Yeah.
from Ariel's thighs, the cockpit
Mm.
confessional.
Yes.
So, hey, we get into something I didn't feel like doing on the Patreon, and it was on a Saturday where I was asked to do something that I didn't want to do. And matter of fact, I've got the means, God bless you,
Mhm.
WBAL 98 Rock, to never have to do this again myself. And somehow I get wrapped up into doing it. Well, that was one of 2 days from this past weekend. Because
Was this day you're about to describe after or before?
this was after.
This was the
day
Sunday.
Oh.
after.
This is
was
after you've already done what your penance
the
essentially.
thing.
You worked the hardest you worked all week was on that Saturday.
I wanted to die after. I mean, I helped some people move.
Also,
and
it's the least amount you were paid all week.
Check it out on the
Yeah.
Patreon.
Yeah.
$0,
Yeah.
0 cents, 0 pizza, 0
Yeah.
beer, just manual
Almost
labor.
zero. Thank you. Really.
Yes,
Too.
and it's also we've all been outside over the
Yeah.
past couple of days.
I've been outside.
It's
Yeah.
fucking pretty bad.
It's
Yeah.
hot.
Humid. Yeah. I don't
It's-
want to be outside. Definitely don't want to be doing any manual
No,
labor.
it's disgusting.
Mhm.
So last week I had quite a bit to do. I had a live performance, a live appearance at Primanti Brothers in Linthicum. Give them a shot. Try the Capone, awesome sandwich. The day before that, I had the Horizon Day Camp for Kids with the St. John's School, I think is the name of it, or maybe the St.
You've
Timothy
been
School.
working your ass off.
It's a volunteer thing. It's a good time, but
You're a great person, Justin.
thank you for saying that.
You're welcome.
Then I had not one, but 2 lunches, and I took a photo of one of the lunches for you two because you always have a laugh at this. Here we are, and here is one of the lunches. There it is right there. Okay, there it is. That's the one.
All right.
Oh,
That's who I
got
went and
it.
had
Okay.
food with. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I thought you were trying to never do that again.
Yeah. Well, guess what? We've already got another one of the books.
All
coming
right.
Come August. Okay.
Man.
So we got that
fun lunch.
and then we have a day after that. We got 98 Rock Night at the Yard. Okay.
Mhm.
So 98 Rock Night at the Yard. We get done with the show. I get home. I get the family. I get back to the yard. That was a work night for me. I watched 90 seconds of that game. I was either
Yeah, I only saw you for 9. The only thing you said to me is, "Hey, did you see that guy with the once you go white T-shirt?"
hysterical.
Yes.
So
Find that guy.
yeah. So I go and I have myself a week. The day after, the week that I had is when what happened to me that we discussed on Patreon.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I need my Sunday.
Yeah.
I need
badly.
I
this.
need
because
my
come
Sunday.
Monday, you're right back at. it.
Come
You
Monday,
need a reset.
I need a
Yeah.
reset. I need to be an absolute. I need to be completely stationary. I need to have not been doing
Was there nudity?
the
there
next day. I
this
think
summer?
there's quite a bit.
All right. Thought so.
Okay. Here I am, taking a fucking hike in the woods on a 93-degree day while my son is crying because he's got a fly in his eyeball. Okay. Yeah.
Where is the hike?
It is in Crownsville, which is
Oh, like near like where the
Renaissance Fair is.
Where Joe's from.
yeah,
it's-
it's home of the Robinsons.
At
Yeah.
some point, my son stops walking, and we just have to
Oh.
carry him
Now you're
because he
carrying
got a fly in his eye.
That
His
helps.
legs.
It
no
is
longer
hard to
work.
walk when there's a fly in your eye.
So
Obviously.
this hike is only you, Mudge,
And the
and
boy.
Evan. That's it.
I can't stress this enough. Don't ever fucking invite me on a hike. It's one of the worst things that I can imagine doing. I hate hiking. I don't like
Really?
walk. I hate it.
Okay.
It's a shitty walk where I'm covered in bugs
Yeah.
and there's multiple inclines. What do you think we're going to see around the bend? Spoiler, another tree.
Yeah.
I'm not
Okay.
interested. Is
You're
that
not a
some-
big nature guy.
I don't want to be outside.
Right.
Okay. Because that's where nature is. I don't want
Yeah.
anything to do with it. I've built a temple to me in my own home. My stuff is at my house. None of
That's
my
your
stuff is
happy place.
outside.
How did you
It's
get?
horrible.
Didn't you? Okay.
I never want to be outside.
I based on what happened the day prior, which again, if you want to hear about that, go visit Patreon. You haven't built up any equity to not have to
you
do
think
that.
you built up a lot of equity.
You thought I would have, but to my family thought that would have been a nice, relaxing day.
Oh, that is
Okay.
a
That is-
reward.
that
That's
is
your
a hey.
reward.
You were outside all day long.
How many
sweating.
miles were you going?
Probably walked about 2 in, 2 out.
That's
Okay.
a lot.
With an
For-
That's a
8-year-old.
lot. No,
And-
that,
and
that's
there's
definitely a lot.
Winding
2
paths.
in, 2 out, 4 miles.
Just about
So remember where I used to live?
trenched. Yeah.
Yeah.
With when I lived with my dad.
Yes.
The Wawa is 2 miles, or actually it's not there anymore. But at that corner where they're building that firehouse, that's 2 miles past
Yeah.
those basketball courts. Walking there and back. Can you imagine?
It's horrible.
No. And also this isn't where you're walking. It's not that picturesque.
There's nothing
Okay.
to say.
It ain't like
You're in Crownsville.
yeah.
It's the forest.
Like
There's
I
a
walked,
bear.
I walked Diamond Head in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Okay. It's worth it. All right.
It's,
Yeah.
it's,
This is
there's,
fucking Hawaii.
there's
Right.
tropical foliage. There's
Exactly.
plants
Right.
you haven't seen and birds
Yeah.
you've never heard and all this. This is just trees, the same kind that are in my backyard, flies everywhere.
So we're never gonna do the DLP hike.
ever.
Okay.
Ever.
What about the beach? Do you like to just sit at the beach?
I like to sit still
Okay.
at the beach
But you,
under an
are you
umbrella.
okay with just remember that Curb episode where Larry David's like, I don't get it. I'm just staring at the water.
It's funny you
5
say
minutes
that.
and then you're done. 'Cause
Katie loves to do
women
that.
love that shit.
She loves it, and I want to be a
But
good
they also will
husband.
read books. You're not reading a book.
Raven,
No.
4 miles, 90 minutes, the heat and humidity, but come on. Raven
Yeah.
Chef, take a hike off a cliff and fall 800 feet to the rocks below. Fuck a hike.
Yeah,
It's
I actually
the
like a
worst.
hike. We're different on that.
Yeah, I don't. I also am kind of like the beach a little bit more. I can't stay there as long as Katie can. Katie can stay there all day.
Okay.
I can't do that, but I do like to listen to music and
Yeah.
do whatever we're doing there. I like to do
But
that.
you
but-
like to keep talking.
You like the C&O
right?
trail?
Yeah.
But that just
No, I don't
yeah.
like the sea.
Well,
Hey,
well,
try
Brittany-
the D&B trail in my
Yeah.
pants. How about that?
Brittany
Yeah.
wants a beach DLP party. The good thing about a beach party is Ariel, Brittany,
Mhm.
Katie.
Okay, yes.
Steph,
Now, beach party, I'll do.
Jen,
Because
all
we're in
these
one
women,
spot. We're in one
half
spot.
naked.
I'm not walking
Or in
up
Brittany's
the beach,
case, I've seen her bathing suits 95% naked. It's
Oh,
a
yeah.
good look.
Hey,
It's a
Brittany,
very good look.
your
Keep it.
social right now is real nice.
Crushing it.
But it's the introduction of the hike, and this is the thing. I've tried to turn this into a story on stage. I kind of bounced from it. I think I'm going to revisit it, not for the special,
Mhm.
maybe 2025. That I need to reiterate. If you've had somebody come up to you, it's usually a lady coming up to a guy as he's doing something. Goes, "Do you want to do something?" Now, at that moment, I was asked, do you want to do something? I'm doing something.
Okay.
Whatever you see me
You're already-
doing at
this is
that
what you're
time,
doing.
I'm holding a controller.
You're
I'm
happy
sitting in
to
front
do
of a
it. You're
game.
very, very much enjoying yourself.
I got a Surfside canned cocktail in front of me.
Mm,
I'm wearing sweatpants. I'm about as happy as you're going to see me get.
yeah.
And then it's this the hubris of looking at everything you see before me, and the smile and the drink and the screen and the air conditioning. Not a fly to be found. And going, do you want to do something?
She means, do you want to do something else?
No risk of
Yeah.
sunburn.
Yeah. I desperately want to find a bunch of women in an apple orchard, and I just want to walk up to them and give them an Xbox controller and go, do you want to do something? And like, well, what do you mean? We
Yeah.
are doing something. Like, now you know how I feel.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, what do you want to go do something? If you've ever invited somebody to go apple picking or go to the pumpkin patch.
No, I'm not doing that. Apple
No,
picking
I don't want to
shit.
do that
I'm not
apple
doing
No.
picking
I'm doing
shit.
it.
You ever seen a group of guys in an apple orchard?
No, I've
Never.
never.
No
Unless
one
they're in
wants
a
to be
horror
there.
movie, they're about to get murdered.
Yeah, about to get
Hey,
hacked to
let's
pieces.
take a break real quick and hear about, of course, some more exciting news about Patreon Palooza. Be right back, please.
Hey, it's Justin from the DLP Agenda, and we are so proud to announce the first ever DLP Patreon Palooza. Myself, Justin Schlegel, Rob Mayer, and Joe Robinson are bringing you on one day every single Patreon episode on Patreon Palooza. 7/11, July 11th is the day. You're going to get them early, all afternoon, into the evening with Patreon Palooza. Get signed up now for just $5 by going to patreon.com/the DLP Agenda. That's patreon.com/the DLP Agenda. Just $5 gets you in. If you're not already a Patreon member, you are missing out. And those that are, you know what you get. Dork Dynasty for video games, Laughs Count Anywhere for wrestling, the nightmarishly hilarious stories from Tommy Simbazo when he tells another Tommy Simbazo story time. Want to hear Joe and Katie argue until they're red in the face? Here's Why You're Wrong, the movie recasting, and you're going to get special surprises. We have episodes of things we haven't done in forever, things you've been begging for us to bring back, special guests and more. It's going to be 7/11, July 11th, the DLP Agenda's Patreon Palooza. Go to patreon.com/the DLP Agenda right now. $5 is all it takes. Patreon.com/the DLP Agenda, and write it down. July 11th, 7/11. It's the DLP Patreon Palooza.
Hey, before we continue, I had remember the guys, my neighbors, Devin and Nicole. They've been on the show.
Yeah.
Yes, we saw them recently at
Right,
a show. I
that's
believe.
right. They
Yes.
were at Justin's show at Merriweather, and they were
Awesome.
also at our murder mystery
Nice.
at in Annapolis. But we had dinner with them, and they recently went to Montana.
Okay.
Okay,
Good hiking.
now I say, you know what there is to do in Montana?
hike.
That's it. It's the only
Hike
thing
off.
you can do.
I do love the views there.
Now
mean,
I don't
someplace
mind.
I want to go.
I'm not where Justin is. I don't mind it, but now he's stressing me out because they're like, Katie's like, I'll go to Montana, and they go, when you go, let us know. So now it's going to be this group trip.
I'll go to Montana, but I
I-
want to play golf.
Yes, that sounds fun.
I want to have like some cabin or some view of a lake. or
Yeah.
Right. Well, I don't
mountains
mind
and shit.
hiking, but maybe
Yeah.
I do. Maybe I do
Sucks,
mind.
dude. Like when
right?
somebody wrote, "Didn't you walk everywhere in Japan?" Yes, and every block I'm
Yeah.
looking at something
Yes.
new, some stimuli, some place to go into.
Not the same tree. Over
Not
and
another
Over again.
goddamn tree, another bug, another. Watch your step. Watch
Yeah.
your step.
That does get old. The constant.
Well, having a kid
never
there.
having
Watch
your
your
footing, your every step.
The
you're
trail
a
we
little
went on
unsure.
to, and I'll
Yeah.
move on from and let you get to Montana.
Yeah.
It was also a mountain biking trail. So every 2 minutes,
Oh,
On your left.
and so
Yeah.
all right, let me move out of the way of some asshole on a Schwinn
and
or some
after the
Cannondale.
week you've had, you needed to
I
just
need
be
to sit
sitting in your
still,
chair
man. And then
with some alcohol and video games.
shocker, kid
and
gets a bug in his
masturbation.
eye. We've got to just carry him out instead of being at home and cranking.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rob. You know my
Well,
itinerary.
there's
better
no
than I
more to
do.
tell about Montana other than you scared me.
Well, you're going.
scared
If
me.
Katie wants to
If
go,
Katie wants to go 100%,
You're
I'll go.
100%
And I
going.
also am honestly I would look forward to it. But we'll see how
Like
I feel.
I would
camping's
like to go
cool.
to
We'll see how I feel after. I don't even know if I like camping. I probably
no,
don't.
I don't want to do that. I want to do every state. I have not been to Montana.
I'll camp with a
so
building.
That's one I need to knock.
Can you
off.
tent camp?
I mean, it's been 30 years since I've done it, but I mean, it's not.
I
I'd prefer not to.
I camped with my youngest when he was in Boy Scouts.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I remember, I may have told the story. If I did, it was the very, very beginning of this. I remember there was one of his scout mates or whatever they're called. Their son came. I mean, I'm sorry, their younger brother came. And I remember this kid shit his pants so many times that by day 2, there was 3 days. By day 2, he had no more clothes left. And I remember
He was in the audience with Rob Show.
yeah, I remember the dad going the last time. He goes, "That's your last pair of pants." He shit himself the last time. So
If he was
Yeah.
at Tommy's camp, he would just lied in it for 3 days
Yes.
and just
God.
let it crust in his ass.
Tommy.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Now,
Yeah.
Brittany says she loves tent camping. No, there was a comedy.
Brittany's down for a lot of
Brittany's-
things.
she's-
She's a good chick.
she's
Yeah,
DTF, down for fun, down to fun,
down
to
to
fun.
camp.
That's what it
Yes,
means.
Even though in
Yes.
mine, DTC, the C
Yeah.
stands for something other than camping.
Yeah.
There was a comedy camping trip long time before all of us started hanging out. Well,
Oh yeah,
myself, Rory Scovel,
we named a lot of comics tonight.
John Muma, Jay Hastings, and various girlfriends. And there
didn't
was,
Danny Rouillet also go?
Danny wasn't
No?
there.
Okay.
But we relied on John Muma's woodsmanship
Mhm.
and ability to live outside and, make his way amongst the trails and set up tents. Muma might be the worst camper I've ever seen.
he couldn't build a fire.
Couldn't do
He couldn't set the tent up.
That guy can hunt. He could kill. He could fish. At the
He can
time,
count cards.
he
blackjack.
he can count cards.
But he can't pitch a tent.
He could get me yelling at pit bosses, but he can't cook or set up a tent. Scoville might be Bear Grylls. Scoville was setting up tents. He had like a water purifying
that would be a great
jug.
show.
Incredible.
If he was the fucking survival show with Rory Scovel.
Oh, my Scoville man
Yeah.
out in the woods making the animals laugh and shit like that. I just remember this sad moment. Was it Waiting for Guffman? Was it Parker Posey at the end of that where she thought she had her big break? Was that the actress? Was it Parker
It
Posey?
was, yeah.
And you just see her with one sad chicken wing on a charcoal grill.
Yeah.
It's the saddest scene. You're just like, oh, she's just going to get her job back at the Dairy Queen. John said he could make breakfast. It was John with a limp piece of bacon on a branch, and he's just holding it over a fire, and he's cooking it one piece at a time, and he's burning it like it's
It'll be
catching-
ready by 3 p.m.
Yeah, and he's just cracking off like crunchy burnt black piece. Like, don't you hunt and field strip deers? Like, it wasn't
Yeah.
what we expected out of a man that has definitely, pulled the still beating heart out of a felled buck. It was not great. It was also a night that I definitely got talked to by a couple of comics nights afterwards, because apparently I got drunk and was placing my balls on people's shoulders. And it was a different time before I realized, yeah, you can't do that.
Dave Dennis calls that hike Tua.
Hike
Yeah.
Tua, name of the show.
Yes,
Hike
thank you,
Tua.
Dave.
Dave,
Yes.
you also come up on the Patreon,
You
by the way.
do.
You sent us some photos. Here's why you're wrong. Obviously, we're going to do Pulp Fiction. You sent us some great graphical images of members of DLP in the Pulp Fiction universe. And there is one that the AI did, not you.
Mm.
The AI did. There's a whole other facet as to why we got to shut down the AI stuff. Not just taking jobs, not just stealing work from artists. Turns out the AI, crazy racist. The AI has got to have its plug pulled.
Hey, did
Hey,
you?
that's the
It
world.
generated an image that no one can ever see.
It's my screensaver.
It can't be. Throw your phone away.
Did you guys see the Hawk Tua girl interview with the chick from
Barstool?
Barstool? Did you see
I
that?
saw some clips from it.
Did you see her with Shaq?
I did
Yeah,
see that.
yeah, I
too.
did.
I want to know her friend. I think her friend's super hot.
So
She's always hanging
first of all,
out
the Hawk Tua girl to me is super hot.
Oh, yeah.
Super hot.
yeah.
Is she going to parlay this into what?
Oh, I saw this online.
What have
Somebody
you read?
had the best advice.
Okay.
Don't start a podcast.
No.
Nobody will care in 2 weeks. This is your fucking moment. OnlyFans that shit. Make your 20 million in 1 month. She posts some videos
Yeah.
of
Oh, she-
spitting loogies
It
on a
can-
fucking dick.
On a dildo.
Oh, you
even.
not
Yeah.
only not her naked, you want her sucking someone's dick.
Look, if naked, she'll make like $1 million. She does
Yeah.
that. She's set for life.
No, I think
million not
no,
set
I'm
for
telling you right now.
That's a
If
leap.
if that girl, the Hawk Tua girl, doesn't OnlyFans and is naked in it, she'll make $5 million.
She will make $5 million.
Yeah.
Now she will need to live off that $5 million. Now
It'll fleet.
it'll be fleeting. It'll eventually
Yeah.
wind down, and she'll have rebilling set to where
Mhm.
5 million 1 year, 1 million the next year, 300,000.
right, but she'll do it. She'll get it.
You can still do it. Yeah, that would be one of those things where she needs to sit down with family and friends and be like, how would you feel about this? I thought I read already that someone has made offers for merchandise for her. That's like $1.5 million.
Merchandise is a no-brainer.
$1.5 million.
Yes, that
I-
seems
But she
like a
doesn't
lot.
own Hawk Tua, does she? Does she own it?
But it's going to have
Is it
like,
her image?
her pitching it, her
Got it.
image.
She could have
her
already
selling
started
it.
trademarking it.
Yeah, I don't know. Is it true she lost her job too?
No. On
No,
that interview,
yeah.
she's 21. She was never a teacher.
Okay. So
And-
that's a false narrative.
And
Got
and her dad
Yeah,
is
she
a-
works
is
in like
a-
some sort of spring factory.
Yeah, I don't know what that
Yeah,
means.
Yeah.
and her dad is not a
No,
a
and he's
preacher
fine
or
with it.
whatever.
Okay,
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
also the narrative. Dad was a preacher. She worked in a middle school. Who knows? Then maybe the $1.5 million for merchandising, also not true.
right.
But if
No.
you want to make your money, you want to make it quick. If you can make that leap, you're kind of
Look,
living in the most accepting age to do it.
She's
You
a
are.
hot chick with a shitty job, and people are cool with whatever.
Yeah,
and she
what-
doesn't
yeah.
take herself too seriously. it
No.
seems like. Now I've been doing informal polls at all my shows, and no man or woman has admitted to being interested in being hot to it.
Okay.
What?
Like,
no one is-
receiving a hawk to
They're not interested in that.
They don't
you want
wanna-
you want a loogie spit on your dick?
It
Is
doesn't
that,
have to be a loogie.
well, that's
but
what I mean, that's sort of what's implied.
I mean, you can make the
You know.
hawk sound, but
Right.
not bring up like the
but
remnants of
I think
strep
when you
throat.
say hawk, you're
Hawk.
it's called hawk a loogie.
Yeah, I know.
So-
Tua.
But I never equated that with her actually spitting a loogie on it. Did you?
I thought saliva,
Yeah, so
not
did
like
I.
something yellowish.
Yeah.
No, if she brings up like a
Do you want
longer,
do you want saliva? Do you want to?
Yes.
yes,
Okay.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
Yep,
Yeah.
very
Yeah,
much.
please.
Like
Mhm.
if you're trying to make it wet, like you can just put your mouth on. it.
True, you
It's
can do
not-
that too.
But
that
you know what it is?
seems-
It's the theatrics.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
the performance.
Okay.
If you
right.
want that act,
you act like you want to be there.
used to tell a joke. Used to tell a great joke, and I hope you still do
Oh.
occasionally. There's egg on my face was come on you
Ah,
about
yes,
having
that is a
trouble
classic.
finishing
Right.
from or.
Yeah. Thank you.
That's a legit issue with me.
Mhm.
That if I feel like I need to know you want to do it, and if I feel
Oh
like
no, you got to be into
If
it.
it feels obligatory.
if it
Yeah.
feels like you're put
You're going
upon,
through the
maintenance.
motions.
I'll be there
yeah,
for an hour.
Right.
If you hit me with a hawk to it, 20
So
seconds.
you're into it.
I'm
Yes.
done.
you want
done.
this to be over with? I'm going to tell
If
you how
you
to
want
do
this
that.
process to be over
Yeah.
real quick, perform.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Really do a can. So when she did that, that's why. I mean, frankly, physically, I mean, she's a 7 out of 10. She's attractive, but I mean,
I think she's an 8.
I'm gonna go 7. She's a little chinless, but she seems like she's got a great attitude.
Great
she does
attitude.
That.
She's fun.
Yeah.
She's not going on
She's
hikes.
+2, whatever,
Yeah.
whatever
Yeah.
your number is,
Okay.
+2.
Now,
Bump it
what
up.
about just spitting on you in general? Is there?
No.
Sure, why
About
not?
biting
yeah,
you,
what? Not my
no.
face, I guess, but you
Okay.
know, you want to
No.
spit on my
Just
back.
that?
Okay.
Katie's
Just
allowed to-
there.
Katie
All
can
right.
spit anywhere. I don't care.
Anywhere.
No.
Anywhere she wants. to.
Okay.
Katie, come down here and spit in Joe's face. Spit in his fucking face right now. I mean, longer one at him. Yeah, I can't.
Katie says the last thing I want to hear is Joe say we're really walking up that hill over and over again.
Uh,
She's not going hiking with
She's
you.
referring
Yeah,
to
yeah.
the trip to Montana.
Also, you know what Joe will wear hiking up these mountains in Montana? Is fucking flip flops.
yeah, I mean, God, man,
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
terrain really doesn't seem conducive
Yeah.
to my footwear.
Gee, it's weird. Well, weird that you didn't think you thought those would be good shoes.
You got your Keds on.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, good question though. What is, I mean, without getting too deep in anything terribly
Oh, let's
personal,
go
especially
for
with
it.
somebody upstairs. What is one of the grosser requests you've ever had, or is that a Patreon?
From Katie,
Just-
just none.
No, Katie's is a lady of
Yeah.
class and refinement,
Yeah.
but
yeah, we'd have to put that behind a paywall.
Mhm.
yeah, okay, yeah.
I had a girl that would bite me a lot.
I
And
hate that
It
shit.
got to like I would literally flinch because I had marks.
Yeah,
And at first it was like cool, and I'm like, okay,
So
I'm in pain.
I've
I don't like
told a
that.
story
I don't like
which,
that at all.
Yeah.
which I won't tell. It's Rob's, but I don't know that he remembered it, and so
No.
I refreshed your memory about it
I
recently.
don't.
Stab
Well,
me.
you said punch in the. I thought it was choke.
Listen, I
Maybe
got
you're right.
I got a pretty
Yeah.
good memory.
You were
of
sober,
this.
I
Yeah,
wasn't.
Yeah. So I'll wait till Patreon to tell that story.
Right.
I had a girlfriend. I say girlfriend. We had been dating for 2 months, but she wanted something rough, and I'm like, okay, I think tug a little hair,
Mhm.
smack a butt, something. Let me
Right.
toss you on the bed. Some.
Yeah.
She was like, I want your hands on my throat. I'm like, okay, but I mean, I'm you look at me, I'm gripping you right,
Right.
now, but I'm doing a
It's
wrestling
like
grip.
a neck massage.
No.
almost.
You feel
Yeah.
nothing. Look at
nothing.
that. Look at how hard I'm holding on
Yeah.
to him right now, but I'm
Yeah.
actually not squeezing
Right.
him. I was doing that.
That's
and
not of interest to her.
nodded in. She's like,
No.
No.
squeeze it. I'm like,
She calling you a
"Ah,
pussy?"
Okay. Well, I mean, not far off. She's like, no, I want you to like smack me around. I'm like, I can't.
I can't do that.
feels
Can
like
you
a
sign
setup.
this release?
That feels like
Yeah.
a setup. Can I get you on film doing it? I'm like,
Right.
yeah, it's too much. I don't think as
Also, how does that girl? How does she learn that she's into that?
a fucking sketchy relative. So as we're in the middle of, she's asking what she would like me to do.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and when she did the strike bit, I went, I'm not sure. wham, she hits me.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm
shit.
like, oh, what the
So now this is
Quid
bad.
pro quo,
Now,
motherfucker.
You're in the middle of sex.
Yeah.
Okay.
You busted me.
Yeah.
I started to cry. It hurt like quite a bit. She really got me started.
Now she's got to rock you to sleep. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry.
She busts immediately. He's
Yeah.
crying.
It's just water world just flying out of her. 7-Eleven is the Patreon Palooza. We want everybody there. If you're a Patreon member, thank you so much. If you're not, get signed up. Just $5, 10, 20, 50 gets you other incentives. And if you already are, again, please tell one other person. We're recording this on Tuesday. It is next Thursday. We got so much great Patreon
7-Eleven.
content. 7-Eleven surprises, things we haven't even told you about. We're so excited for this. We're so appreciative of you. Thank you so much. We're the DLP Agenda.